morning, guys. Good afternoon, good night, whenever you guys are seeing this video. So for today's video, we will be doing, this is a two-part type of activity for this lesson, so I'll split it in half. But the topic for the lesson is solving systems of substitution and elimination. We had been practicing a little bit of elimination in the last video. I will link that in this video. But this should be some more practice for you if you're having problems solving systems of elimination. Alright. So this is the entry slip for this lesson. Pause this video if you need to take a couple minutes to solve. Put on a timer for at least 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes depending. Read the question and then try to solve it. After which, at the end of the video, I will go over the entry slip so you can see if you did indeed get it correct. But the entry slip says find the value of the last line. Be prepared to explain your reasoning. So once you figure out what that one number is for the star and it's equal to 9, then you'll be able to plug it in here, figure this out, and it's kind of like a puzzle. So try to work that puzzle, and in the end we will go over it. Yeah, did this already. Okay, let me get a fresh one. Alright, so for system of substitution, we know the word substitution means is the action of replacing a variable with a number or expression it is equal to. So once you hear the word substitution, that simply means that you're replacing something with something. Okay. We're not going to go over the steps of solving system of substitution, but if you do want to look at it, you can. But why I said we're not going to go over the steps, because I will be doing the steps. Okay. So here are systems of equations. System of equations. I don't think I went over this in the last video. But when you see system of equations, you're thinking of an equal sign. When you hear system of inequality, so inequality, I think I need to go over an example of that on the Regents so you guys understand what I'm saying. When you say system of inequality, you're thinking of greater than, less than, greater than equal to, or less than equal to. Let's see if I find that example that I'm trying to make a reference to. I think I do have it. Let's see. I think this is one question. Let me see if I find the one with system of equation. There you go. Okay. So let me go over this because I don't think I went over this in the last video. But they will ask you, write a system of equations. When you hear equations, you're thinking of an equal sign. When you hear write a system of inequalities, you're thinking of the greater than, less than, equal to, greater than, less than, equal to type of signs. But when you hear equations, you're always thinking of an equal sign. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, let's go over some examples together. So I believe there are 4 examples here, guided questions, and the others are independent practice, but we won't do those. So once I do these 4 examples, we're going to jump into the Regents questions for you to see how it would look on the Regents. Alright, so the first one says, and remember substitution means you're replacing something, right? You're substituting, plugging in. Think of copy and paste. Copy and paste. Okay, we're going to see what I mean. All right, so the example given is x plus 2y equal 8. And then x is equal to -5. So your value of x is equal to -5, which would simply mean that the color. X plus 2y equal 8. Wherever I see x in this equation, the full equation, I'm going to copy and paste it where I see x. So, because I know that the value of x is -5, I'm going to say -5 plus 2y equal 8. Now that I'm here, I am going to ask myself, what can I combine? What can I move? I'm going to cover this y, so this is 2y, and I'm going to ask, do I have any other y's in this row other than the one that I'm covering? If my answer is no, then I'm going to move on to the next things in that line. Do I have any other constants in this line other than the one that I'm covering? And I will say yes, which it would be the 8 and the -5. Again, a constant is a number without a letter in an equation. So if you see a number with a letter, this is your coefficient, the 2 is your coefficient, and the y is your variable. If you see a number but it doesn't have a letter attached to it, that is your constant. So we have 1 and 2 constants. So to combine both of them together, I realize this is a negative, so I'm going to do the opposite, which is plus, rewrite the number, and do that on the next side. Always, what you do on one side, you have to do on the next side. Same exact thing. So this is saying 5 minus 5 is 0. So I'm left with 2y equal 8 plus 5. Then 2y equal 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I know when I add 8 plus 5 is 13. You can either use your fingers, or if you want, you can use the calculator. Then we're going to say I need to get y always, the letter always by itself in the end, but there's a 2 attached to it. So I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides. Again, what I do on one side, I have to do it on the other side. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. You either can write 1y or just y. This is the same thing as this. This is just saying there's an invisible 1. But if you feel comfortable writing the 1y, that is also fine. Equal 13 divided by 2, that should be 6.5. So your final answer would be y, x, comma, y. The value of x is -5, comma, 6.5. And that would be your answer for your first example. So again, we copy and paste wherever we see the values given. Okay, second example, same idea. We know the value of y in this case is -1. We're going to rewrite the first equation, so it's y equal -7x plus 13. Copy and paste, so we look, we know y is -1, we see y here, so we write -1 equal, and everything else we simply rewrite. Okay, now, rule of thumb, you always want to have your variables on your left, because that's how we want to read it, and then our constants or whatever else on the right. So I realize I have a variable here. I need to move this variable to my left, and then my constant I move to my right. So it's going to be a lot of movement. So if you're confused, take your time. Rewind this video if you need to rewind this video. Okay, so I'm going to say plus 7 because this is a negative, so I have to do an opposite sign to move it. Plus 7 on the other side, plus 7. 7 minus 7 is 0, so this cancels. And I'm left with 7x minus 1 equal 13. Same process again. So we know we move the x, we cannot combine it with anything else. So I cover this constant, and I'm going to ask myself, do I have any other constant in this line? My answer would be yes. 2 will be the 13, and the negative 1 would be my constants. Okay, so you move the 1 from the left to the right, and you get the opposite sign. So if you put this in your calculator, and I will suggest to you, if you don't know how to calculate from memory, let the calculator be your best friend. So negative 1 plus 1, that will give us 0. Or you can say 1 minus 1 is 0. So this cancels. You're left with 7x is equal to 13 plus 1. 7x equals 14. We are then going to divide by 7y, because you want x to be by itself, but there is a 7 attached. So left with x is equal to 2. And we know we rewrite it as x comma 1, y. X is 2 comma negative 1. And that's that. For the other example, no, there are different ways you can do this. Either you break this down and have it x equal, or you want to say 3x. So in the equation it says 3x plus y equal 15. We know the value of 3x is 8. So wherever we see 3x, you put 8 plus y equal 15. Now we need to combine like terms. We know that we don't have any other y's in this row, so we can't combine y's, but we have constants. So we're going to bring this 8 to the other side. 8 minus 8 is 0. Y is equal to 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 7. If you need to use your fingers, you can. If you need to use a calculator, definitely do that. We know the value of y. You gotta figure out what the value of x is. Now, a simple way that you could do it is to grab this and solve for x. Or if you want to grab the second one and plug in the value of y, you can. I will show both ways to show that you can still get the answers any way you take it. So I'm going to do the 3x equal 8. I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides. X is equal to 8 divided by 3 is 2.67. Or the other equation, 3x plus y is equal to 15. 3x plus 7 equals 15. I'm going to combine again like terms. So these are the only ones I can combine. So I'm going to bring this 7 to the opposite on both sides. 3x is equal to 15 minus 7 is 8. So went back to the same original equation. Divide by 3. And the same thing is x is equal to 2.67. So the easiest way we could have done it would be this way, but I wanted to show both ways of how you could solve for x. And again, you would write your answer as x comma y. X is 2.67 comma 7. Okay. And the last one that we will be doing for this lesson is number 4. So again, 4 equal 2x minus 7. So y is equal to 2x minus 7. So your value of y is this. The other equation is 4 plus y equal 12. 4 plus 2x minus 7 is equal to 12. Right, so off the bat, we know things we can combine already. So these are 2 constants on your left. So you're going to say 4 minus 7 plus 2x is equal to 12. This will give you negative 3. So you're going to say 4 minus 7 is negative 3 plus 2x equal 12. Constants again are negative 3 and 12. I'm going to do plus 3 because this is a minus, so I'm going to do the opposite sign. So 2x is equal to 15. You divide by 2 on both sides. X is equal to, I believe, 7.5. Good. So that's only the value for x. Okay. I'm then going to grab the value of y, first equation. So y equal 2x minus 7. And this is the case where you can only grab this because you need to plug in the value of this. Or, if easier way, you could grab the second one and bring this on the other side. But I will show both ways so you see that you get the same answer. So y is equal to 2 times 7.5 minus 7. Y is equal to 2 times 7.5 equal 15 minus 7. And that is equal to 8. So this is one way you can find y. Or if you want to use 4 plus y equals 12, you're going to bring 4 to the other side. Y is equal to 8. Whichever way you want to use, you still get the same answer. So your final answer will be x minus y. X is 7.5, comma 8. And that is that. Alright, so the regents that goes with this would be these. And it would be question 10. And this is from January 2026, so this was this year. August 2025, and that's question 23. And June 2025, and that's question 10. So those are the 3 questions we will be working on. So it says, when solving the following system of equation algebraically, Mason used the substitution method. So again, substitution, think of copy and paste. Right? It's not asking you to solve or give the answer. It's asking which equation could be used. So you got to figure out which equation could be used. So we're going to either have y equal or x equal. The easiest one to do would be the first equation because this has an invisible 1. So it's going to be 3x minus y equal 10. You need the y to be on the left and everything else on the right. So we're going to do minus 3x on both sides. 3x minus 3x is 0, so it's negative y equal negative 3x plus 10. Now, you never want to leave your answer of a variable in a negative state or a number greater than 2. So for this, we're going to divide by -1, because any letter that has no number is a 1. So we will do -1. This cancels, and we're left with y is equal to 3x minus 10. Because 10 divided by -1 usually negative. Okay. So now we have the second equation. 2x plus 5y is equal to 1. 2x plus 5, the value of y, remember, copy and paste, we put here, equal 1. So remember, this represents y. And then now we're going to look at our final answer and compare it with the answers given. So we know it would not be 1 and 2 because our answer starts with 2x plus 5. So this we eliminate. We only have these 2 left. They somewhat look similar, but one part is incorrect. So we know the first part works. Then we go in the parentheses, 3x minus 10, and that is 3. This is how you would do this question. Okay, move on to the second one. For number 23, the method of substitution was used to solve the system of equations below. Which equation is a correct first step when solving this method? Now, it's the same thing again. You're not trying to solve it. You're trying to figure out what would the first thing that you would do. So we're going to say, we're going to write both and solve for x, right? So this is the easiest again to work with. So we're going to do x minus y equal -1 and x minus y equal -1. We're going to have one as x on the left and y on the left. So I'm going to bring over this y. X is equal to y minus 1, or if I need the y by itself, I'm going to say -x, -x. This cancels, I'm left with -y equal -x minus 1. And again, you never want to leave a variable in a negative form. So I'm going to divide by -1 on both sides. Y is equal to x plus 1. So I'm going to compare and see which one of my answers match with the choices given. Definitely this won't work, right? So I'm going to say y equal, that won't work. But then I realized that x equal y minus 0 minus 1 is the choice for number 1. So again, you look for the simplest equation that you can break apart, rewrite it, solve for either x and then for y, and see which one of your answer match the choices below. And then the last question we're going to work on is question 10. Same idea. Given a system of equations, a step in solving this system by using the substitution method would be, and again, substitution is copy and paste. Alright, so again, we find the simplest one, and the simplest one is this, because it has no number greater than 1. So I'm going to say y plus 4x equal 5. I need to get rid of that 4x that's attached on the left side. So I'm going to do -4x, -4x. -4x minus -4x is 0. So it cancels. I'm left with y is equal to -4x plus 5. Then the second equation is where I'm going to plug it in. So I'm going to say 2x minus 3y equal 10. I know the value of y, which is where the copy and then the paste comes in. So I'm going to say 2x minus 3, value for y is negative 4x plus 5 is equal to 10. Now this is my final product. I'm then going to look for this answer over here. So the ones that are off the way we can eliminate are 1 and 2 because they don't start with a 2x minus 3. So these we eliminate. We're left with 3 and 4. So now we have to go into the parentheses and see which one matches. Okay, so realize this is written differently. So if we need to rewrite it, it would be 2x minus 3, 5 minus 4x equal 10. Okay, which it would match 3. It wouldn't be 4 because we didn't have a positive 4x, we had a negative. So our choice would be 3. If I went over that a little bit too fast, pause and play it as much as you need to until you get a clearer understanding of it. But that is how those questions would be to solve. I hope you guys have a little better understanding of how to solve systems of substitution. Again, if you need to get some further lessons on it, try to practice again. Try to rewind this video as much as possible and try to practice other questions similar to this as much as possible. I will see you guys in my next video. My next video will be on substitution, system of elimination, and we will do some Regents questions as well. See you guys in my next video. Bye.